And we're live to the Dave and Dirty Movie and Shows podcast. How's it going, old Dirty?
Hey, what's up, Dave? What's up, YouTubers? We are back with another movie podcast.
All right, and today we're going to talk about mainly The Walking Dead that went on last night. I changed the podcast. We usually do this podcast on Sundays, and I'm moving it to Mondays because, I don't know, pretty much because The Walking Dead takes place Sunday night, and then it's sooner to do the review the next day instead of waiting a whole week to talk about The Walking Dead. And usually whatever TV show we're going to talk about that's airing, I want to get it kind of like the day after the show airs, so it's kind of like a relevant review instead of a whole week later. That's mainly why I moved the podcast to Monday. Just wanted to tell everybody that. And we're going to talk about the new Amityville Awakening that's supposed to... they showed a trailer of it not too long ago. I have no idea when it's coming out. Is it 2015, Old Dirty, I think?
Yeah, say January 2015.
January 2015.
Yeah, so you probably got a month and a half.
Okay. Now, the last Amityville, did you like that one or the remake? What did you think of that?
I've seen the remake, and I really can't explain too much about it because I only seen it one time. It's been so long, but from what the small bit I can remember, it was okay. It wasn't like the best to me. It was just, it was okay.
Yeah, it was pretty much a remake of the first original one. If everybody knows that. When did the first Amityville come out? Was it in the 80s, I think?
I think so.
Yeah, I don't know the exact date, but the original Amityville, if everybody don't know, it's based off a true story of a guy that killed his whole family with pretty much a shotgun. Ran around and shot everybody. Then when he got arrested, he said the devil made him do it. Now, I used to live near the Amityville house when I lived up in New York, and pretty much now the house is pretty much remodeled to, it don't look like a face no more because the Amityville house has always looked like a face, and it's got the eyes and like a little nose. It all looks like a face. But over years they remodeled it, and it don't look the same. But I don't think you can get on the property. It's pretty fenced in. They supposedly say like there's blood that comes on the walls in the house if people go there. Car accidents happen in front of the house. A priest gets sick. All kinds of shit. And all this stuff generated to make movies. It all came from the movies. And the real story I heard was the second family that moved in that house just so happens looked a lot like the actual guy that killed his family. And it was real weird. Like the new homeowners looked just like the actual guy that did it. And they, what I hear, couldn't afford the mortgage on their home, so they skedaddled, left the house, abandoned it, said it was haunted, and got out of their mortgage. And that's where I heard the true story of Amityville is. But then a lot of people believe it's haunted and actually think that the guy actually killed his family, got possessed by the devil, made him do it. And, that's where the story of the Amityville comes from the new people that moved into the house. Well, it came from the guy originally killing his family, but it started with the new family that couldn't pay their mortgage. And, now it could be true. They might have got scared and left, but people seem to think they couldn't pay their mortgage. That's the other thing that goes along with it.
That's crazy. That's a good one to come up with. Hey, I can't pay this mortgage because I got the devil in my crib.
Yeah.
Hell no.
His name was Ronald Defoe Jr. That was the guy that shot and killed 6 members of his family. And after 28 days, the Ludices, they left the house claiming, after they moved in, 28 days later, the next family left the house claiming to be terrorized by paranormal phenomena while living there.
My whole thing, man, is like with when I actually seen Amityville Horror, I don't think I've seen the original, but I do remember that remake some few years back.
Hmm.
And to me, man, it's just get the hell out the house, man. Stop trying to lie to yourself like ain't nothing going on. Like get the hell up out the house.
Yeah.
You know, you're trying to convince yourself, oh no, ain't nothing going on. You know what I'm saying? That person that I think I saw walk past my corridor into the other room, you know, it's just my mind playing tricks on me. Hey, no, get up out the house. You know, what more do you need? You know what I'm saying? You got doors opening and closing and shit. And nah, you got windows open and you know you ain't left no window open in the winter time. So get your dumb ass out and stop playing.
Yeah, it's a little crazy. Well, they say they claim they see like blood on the walls, and they implemented all this shit into the movie too.
Yep.
Priests get all sick and can't, you know, they go in there to bless the house and all kinds of stuff. But this whole like thing of the guy killing his family and the next family moving in literally generated like 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And the new one is going to be 12 movies. That whole thing generated from the Amityville, and not only that, it generated books and all kinds of other shit. So this whole thing that went on with the guy killing his family, and the new family moving in, getting scared and leaving, has literally generated a lot of money over the years, and had made with this new film 12 movies that are made on the Amityville. The first one was made in 1979, the Amityville Horror. The second one was called The Possession, 1982. Then they had one in 3D in 1983. That one was the Amityville 3D. It's called Amityville 3: The Demon. Then they had Amityville 4: The Escape in 1989. Amityville: The Curse, 1990. Amityville: It's About Time in 92. Amityville: A New Generation in 93, Amityville Dollhouse in 96, the Amityville Remake in 2005, the Amityville Haunting in 2011, the Amityville Asylum in 2013, and the Amityville The Awakening in 2015. I have pretty much seen pretty much all of these movies except the last two. Yeah, I haven't seen the Asylum and Amityville Haunting in 2011, but I did see the remake. Everything before that I've seen, but this the Haunting, that might be like a documentary or something. Maybe it is. I think that's the found footage movie that they just did recently. They did a found footage I saw on Netflix. Some of them were like, some of the movies they really go out of like, they really leave the story of Amityville and go into like the possession, where it's like a lamp that comes into a house, and in that lamp, I think it's a lamp. One of the movies, it's like items from the house are haunted and cause like this whole other movie. One's about time. I think it's a clock. The clock can mess with time, and they're in different time eras of Amityville, and it's kind of crazy. It's one of them, like, remember back in the days where you used to get like the really cheap horror movies? Do you remember them?
Yeah.
All right, they still got them nowadays, but pretty much the ones nowadays, if you have a cheap horror movie, you pretty much know that movie's fucking trash. The cheap ones back in the day, some of them were all right, you know, but some of them had like such weird storylines where they just made no sense. And if you tried to watch some of the movies nowadays, you'd be like, what the fuck was I watching back then? You know, it just don't make sense. And that's what a lot of other like horror movies that actually were big movies, if you watch them nowadays, the storyline is so out there, and just the special effects and what they do in the movie, it's just weird. Do you agree?
Yeah. I mean, some of these B-rated movies, you know, some of them are good. You know what I'm saying? Not like the best, but I mean, it's better than what you thought, coming within the movie. But yeah, that Amityville Horror, I didn't even know it was so many. You know what I'm saying? It sounded like a Friday the 13th or Nightmare on Elm Street series and shit, right? Because we know how many Jason movies it is. It's like shit. What about 11 or 12 of them?
Oh yeah.
And then
There's
Freddy, I think it's about
mhm.
8 or 9 with Freddy movies. So
Yeah, they
I didn't
got
know.
Freddy's Dead. That was the sixth one. Then they got Freddy New Nightmare, which was seven, and then they got Freddy versus Jason, which would be the eighth one. And then they got the ninth one, which is the new Freddy.
Yeah.
So yeah, they got a lot of Freddys. I think they got more Friday the 13th than anything, but it seems like they got a lot of Amityvilles too. Um,
Yeah, I mean, Jason had some good ones, and I think the best one out of all of them to me, I like Jason Takes Manhattan. For
hmm
some reason, Jason was doing some he was doing stuff he never did before when he got to Manhattan. Like this dude literally walked underwater all the way to Manhattan. Okay, that's one thing. You walked underwater to Manhattan to chase these two teenagers. All
hmm
right, now he gets to Manhattan, come up out the lake, you know what I'm saying, and the two kids is walking down the street. I guess they in Times Square or whatever, um, and they just so happen to see Jason like down the street, like so they start running and Jason chasing them. He walking and he coming to a group of like these punk rockers, you know what I'm saying, with the makeup on and the spike and the spiky hair. And this dude just kicked they boom box out the way. And like when he kicked it, it like exploded. Like it went into like a million pieces. Like what the fuck? Like when Jason just started kicking shit, you know what I'm saying, out his way. You know what I'm saying? And then Jason peeping around corners. Like I never seen Jason peep around a corner, for somebody. But he peeped around a corner on this when he was on the ship. I'm
Yeah.
like, but it was funny though, and I like it because it was funny because Jason was doing some odd stuff like he never did in a movie before. Like, why do you a killing machine? Why do you need to peek around a corner?
Well, that's
It
where
was just weird.
Jason ended up to where he was they couldn't even stop him. And Jason goes to space or whatever the hell it was. They literally could not kill Jason. Like they even made Super Jason.
Yeah.
Followed that table and it like turned him into like cyborg Jason and he was unstoppable. And then he
Yeah.
ended up becoming like a shooting star or something. And these campers are like and about to sleep with each other. And they go, "Oh, a shooting star," and it's actually Jason coming from space.
Yeah,
Huh.
that Jason had some weird movies, man. Like maybe after seven, I think Jason Takes Manhattan was seven. I think it was. Jason just started doing weird stuff, man. Like he wouldn't even pop out of nowhere. He'd like peek and look at you and shit. Like usually Jason just come get you. You just so happen to feel like somebody might be behind you or something. You get that instinct and you turn around. Jason just be standing there. No,
Mm-hmm.
this dude looking through windows and shit. I'm like, Jason ain't never looked through no damn window. He'll bust through the window to get your ass, but he not looking through no window.
I was looking through windows now. I mean, it got crazy over the years. They brought a lot of horror characters like Jason and Fred. Well, Freddy never went to space, but Leprechaun did. Leprechaun went to space. Who else went to space?
You know what? Refuse to watch that. Like I refuse to watch the Leprechaun in space. Um, Leprechaun in space. Leprechaun go to the hood. I refuse to watch them.
Yep, they go. He goes to the hood. Uh, and they even made another Leprechaun movie called Origins, but it was nothing to do with Leprechaun, so it must be a separate movie. It was like this big Leprechaun monster. So what was nothing to do with the original Leprechaun, I don't think, but I thought it was. But Leprechaun, how many Leprechauns did they have? About four or five, maybe six, because he goes back to the hood twice. He goes to the hood twice, I believe.
Ah, nah. Yeah, you mean to tell me he ain't have enough of the hood? He had to go back?
Yeah. And Ice-T was in it, I think. Ice-T was in the second one.
Yeah, see, I was done after the first Leprechaun. I thought the first Leprechaun was okay for back then. I was like, okay, that's pretty cool. Then he
Mhm.
started coming up with Leprechaun 2, and Leprechaun in space, and he going to the hood, and all this other crap, I was like, you know what? I do not want to watch it because I know it's just going to be cheesy. It's going to be some cheesy acting. It's going to be some cheesy special effects, and I don't even want to waste my time to get upset.
Mm-hmm. Well, this new Amityville, well, the last one, the remake of Amityville had Ryan Reynolds in it. And did I think that was a bad Amityville? No, I liked when in that movie, like when the girl was in the closet, the babysitter, she gets locked in the closet and she thinks the kids did it to her, and then she sees the little dead girl, and then she takes her finger of the babysitter and sticks it through her head where the bullet was. That was kind of cool. Um, but it was still enough was enough. Like, I seen all the Amityville remakes, like I said, up to that point, and then I guess they had two other ones I didn't see. I saw the one on Netflix, like part of it. It was like found footage. It was horrible. They've done documentaries with this, but now they're making one called Amityville: The Awakening. And this one, the only big actor that I could think that's in this one is the kid. I don't know. Did you ever see the show Shameless?
No, it sounds familiar, but no.
It's a show on Showtime called Shameless, and it's the kid that plays the gay kid. He's the guy that gets possessed, the kid that gets possessed in this one. I think the other person in this is, nobody, Bella Thorne, Cameron Monaghan, I think that's the guy's name. Jennifer Lee, Thomas Mann, just some like B actors that are on TV shows. What did you think by the trailer that you seen of that?
It's something I can actually wait on. Not going to the movies to see it. I thought it was an okay trailer, but it's just something I'm not rushing to go see.
Yeah,
You know, even if they come out on DVD, I'm not rushing to go, to the red box or, if I see it on Netflix to, watch it right away. Like, no, it got to be like a day where it's like, I want to watch a movie, but I don't know what I want to watch. Maybe it'd be that one.
yeah, I agree with you. Yeah, this one has, I guess the trailer has something to do with the girl in school, and then it shows her brother, and he ends up getting sick, and kind of looks like the story of the haunting in Connecticut a little bit. Kind of looks like they're kind of going that route. It looks kind of creepy. They mainly base it around the kid that's like possessed or sick in the movie. He gets sick first, and he gets possessed. It don't look terrible, but it just looks like another movie. One, if I had like I'm with you, I'm gonna watch that on a day when I have nothing else to watch. I'm not going to get it at Redbox, and I'm not going to. It's gonna take a lot for me to try to. It won't take a lot for me to watch it on Netflix, but it's not a movie I'm gonna be looking out for. I'm a little Amityville'd out. I did like The Haunting in Connecticut. Did you like that?
Haunting in Connecticut. I remember that. I don't know if I seen it. I think is that the one when the father was possessed or something in his basement or some crap like that?
This one was about like the kid's sick, the mother can't afford to, she can't really afford to drive out to his therapies and where he's getting taken care of at this hospital. So she ends up finding a really good deal on a house that's closer to the hospital, and then the kid starts getting like cuts in him and stuff with different signs. And under the house, the dog starts like in the basement. The dog starts like digging at this place. And this is the one where they find. I'm thinking of the other Amityville. I'm thinking of I am thinking of the right movie, but it's mixed with Amityville. I'm thinking of the other Amityville. This one, they have all these bodies in this like in the walls, and there's all these like they have these like photographs that they find, and it's of like these things coming out of their mouths of these old people taking pictures of like it's really strange. And it's a good movie, the Haunting in Connecticut, the first one. Then they made a second one, which isn't bad either. It's about like more of the slavery ghost and all that stuff. That was all right too.
Wait a minute, they had a ghost that was a slave?
No, it's just about the underground, what was it called? The Underground
Railroad.
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 Yeah, and it had all that. And
Oh, okay.
a lot of the slaves were ghosts, and it was a good story. I liked it. I liked that one too. I like the Haunting in Connecticut a little bit more of the newer ones. The old
Okay.
Amityvilles, I kind of like some of them, but I'm just Amityville out. But Haunting in Connecticut was good, but it's kind of similar to this new Amityville Awakening. But I'm with you on this whole Amityville thing. I can wait on it. There'll be a day when I'm like have nothing else to watch, and I'll watch it. Pretty much. Other than that, I guess the big release of a movie this past weekend. Trying to think is November 21st. No, upcoming release this week is The Hunger Games. Mocking Jay Part 1. Is that the name of it?
Yeah.
Okay, the only Hunger Games that I seen was the first one. I have not seen How to Catch Fire, How to Start a Fire, or whatever the hell it's called.
Catching fire. Yeah.
Now, did you see the first Hunger Games and the second one, or no?
Yeah, I got both of them on Blu-ray. I actually like those. They was pretty good.
Was the second one as good as the first one, or better, or?
Yeah, the first one kind of started off, slow, but then it started building up, and the second one, what I'm saying, it's good. It's
Okay.
good. Not saying that the first one is bad. It's just it's slow. It's kind of slow, and then it builds up. You know what I'm
Is it
saying?
is it better than the is it better than the first one, or?
Uh, yeah, yeah, it's
Oh,
better than the first
okay, okay. Um, yeah, I saw the first Hunger Games. I thought it was a decent movie. I was a little, what I thought of the Hunger Games and what it's kind of becoming. It looks like another Lord of the Rings type, Harry Potter type movie where we're going to get a lot of them. That's what I mean. I'm not saying they're the same exact movies, but it's that same kind of movie that's going to generate a lot of people. All of these movies is like it's kind of like the Twilight series, Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings. It's one of them type of movies. Would you say?
Well, the way they doing it because I knew it was supposed to be like a trilogy. When it first when the first one first came out, we all knew it was going to be a trilogy, but I didn't know with the last one they was going to actually make it, a part two of the third one, like a part one and two of the third one,
Mm-hmm.
which is what they doing um with the Avengers next movie is going to be, what I'm saying, it's not Avengers Part Two, but it's Avengers something with Ultron like that, and it's a Part One. So basically, you got a Part One and Part Two of the next Avengers that's coming out next year.
Oh, yeah. It just seems like the whole Hunger Games is like your new Harry Potter slash Lord of the Rings movie to go see every. When do they usually come out? Like around Christmas time. Well, this
Yeah,
out around Thanksgiving. But Lord of the Rings, I would go see that every Christmas. And then they had The Hobbit, and that came out. It's like one of them. But Harry Potter, that went on for a very long time, and I don't know how many parts of the Hunger Games there is, but that kind of it looks like the Hunger Games is like one of the movies that replaced Harry Potter, like one of the movies you go see all the time.
yeah. I don't think they can make as many as like they did Harry Potter with this movie, with the Hunger Games. I think why they just making a part one and two of the last film is, maybe it's a lot of stuff they want to do that they can't do.
Oh, now this is the last one. You think these two parts right here are it? There's no more Hunger Games.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be any more. If it is more, I don't think the star in it, what's her name, Jennifer Lawrence. I don't think she's going to play in them. And I mean she's pretty hot in those movies. But I believe this is going to be the last of the Hunger Games.
Okay. I think
Yeah.
if they give her the right price, she'll join. She'll be ready to get on board. But yeah, they're actually, the first one was good. I need to see the second one, and now this is the third one, which they're gonna make into two parts. So this is actually the third, and then the fourth one will be the second part. That's the big one up this upcoming weekend. Now the ones
Yeah.
that came out this past weekend was Dumb and Dumber. That was the big one. I heard mixed things on that. I heard that it was good, but it was pretty much the sequel. It's like a sequel too late. You know, people already passed the whole Dumb and Dumber thing. You know, it's kind of past its time. Kind of like I said in the last podcast with Beavis and Butthead, that people were love Beavis and Butthead during the day, but the new generation didn't understand it. I think that's what's going on with Dumb and Dumber. But yeah, the biggest one coming up this week is the Hunger Games, and last week I would say Dumb and Dumber was the biggest one. Dumb and Dumber 2.
Well, I think with Dumb and Dumber 2 is they should have never made the movie. I mean, if it took you this long to make a sequel, then I mean, even when I look at the previews, there's nothing that takes me like, man, you know what? I want to see this one because the first one was just so funny. I look at it as these two motherfuckers are old as hell. Like, when I look at them, like, you can see that they done really aged. You can see the wrinkles in their face. So it's like, damn, you motherfuckers ain't grew up yet and got smart. Y'all still dumb? Like, I don't even want to see it, So that's a movie I know I'm going to skip. Even if I see it on Netflix, I'm going to skip it. I just don't have I don't even have the willpower to even watch it.
Did you like the first Dumb and Dumber?
The first Dumb and Dumber was cool, but this one is just too long. They waited too long. I'm looking at, the characters from the original, and they old as shit. Like, y'all look old as hell. Like, some of the stuff that y'all is doing, y'all shouldn't be doing because y'all old as hell now. What y'all, like 50-something? And y'all still doing dumb shit? Like, y'all ain't got smart yet, or, intelligence done kicked in. like I'm done, man. It's just like when I look at their face and see the age on their face and the wrinkles, I'm like, nah, this is something that should have been did like 15 years ago or something.
Yep, I totally agree. It's just past its time. They're even thinking of bringing out Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure again. What do you think about that?
Don't even do it. Don't do no reboot. Don't do a sequel. Just leave the other two. I think it was two Bill and Ted's. Leave them shits alone. Like, really. Like, I was never into Bill and Ted. I seen a little bit of the first one. I don't even want to see a remake of it. I don't even want to see a sequel of it. Just leave it alone. Like, certain movies, just leave it alone. Like Dumb and Dumber should have left that alone and just let us live off the original one.
What about what if they brought back Wayne's World?
Leave that shits alone too. Not hating on these movies or anything like that, but it's just certain movies that only need one movie, maybe two, but two maybe overdoing it. After that, leave it alone. Don't make no more sequels. Don't make no remakes of them. Just leave them as they be. Mm-hmm. And people need to watch another Wayne's World or Bill and Ted Excellent Bogus Adventures, then go on Netflix and watch it. We don't need another one. Like, I don't think they will have Keanu Reeves playing it again. I don't even think he'll take the role, but nah. I mean, Keanu Reeves and that other guy, I mean, they did a good job. I really don't see anybody else actually doing Bill and Ted.
Yeah, I don't. The only one I think that they're gonna do okay with the remake, now these aren't necessarily like remakes. These are sequels, I would say. These are like sequels to movies that they should have had sequels a long time ago. Beetlejuice, they're doing a sequel to that. That's all right. They're planning on doing Beetlejuice like 20 years ahead of when it took place. That might work with all the original actors. This one, it's just they're too old. Like Beetlejuice, they could use makeup and make him look all right. But what do you think about Beetlejuice, the remake of that?
I still say no with Beetlejuice. I mean, Beetlejuice is like a classic. Some people may call it a cult classic, but it was good. You know, Beetlejuice was good. Can they actually read? Can they actually do a sequel that's up there with the original with the same cast? I don't know. I don't even know if I want to see the same cast 20 years later. You know what I'm saying? It's like I'd rather just stick with that original and be done with it. Because I figure like this: we haven't got a sequel in 15, 20 plus years of a movie, then we definitely don't need it now. Like, why do it now? What stopped you from doing it back then? Whatever stopped you from doing it back then, if you thought it was a bad idea to make a sequel, because you probably thought that the sequel wouldn't live up to the hype of the first one, 2015, keep it that way. The sequel is not going to live up to the original, especially 20 years from now. So just leave it and just let us enjoy, what I'm saying, Beetlejuice, the original, how it was. You know what I'm saying? They just gonna mess it up. I know how Hollywood is. They just gonna mess it up.
Yep, that's what I think. Pretty much. Other than that, what came out on DVD? Let's see. What was the big thing for DVD? DVD was loading. I don't think much came out for DVD.
Not that I know of.
November 18th DVD was well, it's coming out tomorrow. Sin City, A Dam to Kill For. Oh, actually some big ones. Sin City, A Dam to Kill For, 22 Jump Street, If I Stay, Into the Storm, The Wind Rises, and So It Goes. So It Goes. I don't know about And So It Goes. I don't know about The Wind Rises. Into the Storm. You've been wanting to see that, right?
Yeah, I've been wanting to actually see that. Before I buy it on Blu-ray, I probably download it first and watch it. And if it's good and live up to the par that I think it might be just by the trailer, then I definitely pick that up on Blu-ray. Sin City 2, I definitely want that because I'm a big fan of the original. I got the what is it? The uncut version on Blu-ray was like they added more footage and everything to the movie. So yeah, I definitely want that Sin City on Blu-ray because I haven't seen the second one yet. But since I didn't make it to the show to see it, I'm definitely waiting to watch it on Blu-ray.
Do you think Sin City was a little late too in a sequel? Not as late as Beetlejuice and all the other ones like Dumb and Dumber, but do you think they waited a little too long for that?
Like yes and no. Like I think we all would have liked a sequel maybe like 2 years after the first one, but the guy that made Sin City, I forgot his name. He started working on other stuff like I think his name Miller or something like that. Last name Miller.
Robert Rodriguez and Frank Miller.
Yeah, Frank Miller. He started working with 300. Then he started Watchmen, which I actually like Watchmen. And he did some more stuff, so I can kind of see, he did that other movie that kind of looked like Sin City, was like black and white. I forgot the name of it. I picked it up on Blu-ray. It was an okay movie. It kind of reminded you of Sin City. It was black and white. And they only had like one color, like the white was like real bright, and I think he wore like a red necktie.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot the name of it. But that was an okay movie. I think he did that one also. So yeah, I'm kind of happy that the sequel to it is it's finally out. So what it been like 5 years now or something?
First one came out in 2005, and this one was 2014, so you got 2006, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. You got 9 years.
Yeah, so yeah. It really don't seem like 9 years, but then again, when you say it, yeah, I think it is like 9 years. It don't really seem it from the first one, but yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know. I'm looking forward to it. 22 Jump Street, I want to see. I like the first one, so I'm sure the second one will be good. And that's about it. That's the only. Oh, Into the Storm. I'm kind of done with storm movies, but if it's good, I don't know which. With this one, I guess is like basically. Is this like a Twister type movie? It says in the span of a single day, the town of Silverstone is ravaged by an unpredictable onset of tornadoes. The entire town is at the mercy of the erratic and deadly cyclones, even as storm trackers predict the worst is yet to come. So it's all about storm trackers again.
Yeah.
I don't know that I have to look at some reviews for that one. There is some guys that I watch that do reviews and stuff that I do trust, and usually if they give it a shitty review, I usually there's 9 times out of 10 I'll take their advice on that. With gaming, I'm not like that, but some of the people I like to watch to do reviews, definitely I'll take their advice sometimes. But I still will, if it's a movie I really want to see, I'll give the movie a shot. But Into the Storm, it's got 21% of users liked it and 46, yeah, so it's got good ratings. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I'm still questionable about that one, but yep, those are coming out, and pretty much that's your upcoming releases are those, and yep, that's it pretty much. So that's pretty much that. And I guess we can now talk about the Walking Dead. You saw it last night, right?
Yes, I seen it last night.
Okay, this one was called Consumed, season 5, episode 6. Um, my take on this one, it pretty much showed you a lot what Carol was doing from the time that Rick left her when he decided for her to go on her own because of what she did at the prison, burning the bodies and all that stuff. And they showed you bits and pieces of things that went on from there until now. And it was a very slow episode, very slow in a way. You had some good things in it, like when they got in that bus and went over was it a bus? Or no, it was a van. Went over in the van over to the freeway. They were surrounded by zombies. They had no choice. If that actually happened, do you think they would live that? You're there, Old Dirty?
I'm sorry, say that again, Dave.
With the whole van thing, do you think they would have lived that?
Oh no, I don't think they would. I don't even think the van would have flipped all the way over to land on his wheels. It just would have, depending on the drop, and I don't think it would have landed. I think it would have landed either, bumper first, just like when it was leaning forward, or it would have flipped to its top and it would have landed on the top. I don't think it would have did a full flip and then just land on its tires. I don't think that was a big enough drop for that van to do that.
Yeah, that was an interesting part. You had Noah. They ran into Noah, and he pretty much stole their weapons. And this is spoilers. If anybody didn't see The Walking Dead season 5, episode 6, Consumed, turn this video off now, or this podcast does contain spoilers. Pretty much, they ran into Noah. He stole their weapons. He's kind of weak, the dude. He can't really fend for himself too much. Daryl and Carol end up finding him later, and a bookcase or something falls on him with a zombie there, and Daryl says, fuck him. He's like, leave him. He's like, he didn't like them to begin with. He stole their weapons, and he tried to save them one time before, and then he didn't want their help, and then pretty much Carol wouldn't take no for an answer, and Daryl helped him, shot a bow right through the zombie's head and then helped him off of the bookcase. And then those people from the hospital end up pretty much, they're coming for him, they run out of the building. Carol runs a little bit ahead of them, gets hit by the car. It almost looks like they hit her on purpose, right?
I was thinking the same thing when I seen it, but I was like, damn. I was like, they could have, but then again, they probably was just driving and she just darted out. But I'm like, she was like right in the middle of the street. Like, I don't know. It was kind of weird. But I was thinking the same thing. I'm like, damn, did they hit on purpose or something?
Well, if you look at everybody that goes into that hospital, they're always injured. Why is that?
Right. Maybe because they injured him or something like that. You know what I'm saying? You know.
And
But I got a little twist of what I think what might happen because there's only 2 seasons left,
mm-hmm.
and I'm thinking that Carol is going to die.
Oh, okay.
That's what I'm thinking. I mean, we sometimes, The Walking Dead can come back and twist around. You may think one thing and they twist it to something else, but I really think her character is going to die. At first, I was always thinking Beth was going to die, even when they was in the prison, because I'm like, her character really isn't doing too much but taking care of the baby. And so when she got kidnapped, I'm like, damn. I'm like, I think Beth is going to die. But now that we see that Beth is okay, but she's in this hospital, I'm thinking Carol is going to die because Carol got hit pretty hard, and I think it's the only way. Because the reason why I say that is because Carol was trying to leave twice. She was trying to leave twice when she met back up with them. Remember when she helped them in the terminus?
Yeah. Yeah.
He was the one that helped them all, and they all escaped. Okay. When she found that car, her and Daryl, she was like, "Oh, all it need is some, some gas and some." She said under the hood, she wasn't going to hook it up just in case they need it. I think it was like a battery charge or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, she wanted to leave then. Okay, now, after the Terminus people found them at the church, she set off after they had their little celebration and everything. They was eating because they had went to that place that passes out food. They found all that food and they was eating good and everything. Everybody was happy.
Mm-hmm.
She looked at that door. I remember her looking at that door, and then all of a sudden it cut to her. She's at that car again, and she was packing up. I'm like, damn, she's gonna leave. And just so happened, Daryl come out and he what are you doing?
Mm-hmm.
And she was saying she wanted to leave. And then that's when the car went past that had the cross on the back of it. He was like, that's the car that took Beth. And she was like, what? He was like, that's the car that took Beth. And they jump in. He busts out the back lights. So if anybody else is tracking behind, they wouldn't see the car, see the headlights. I mean, the rear view lights from the car.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then plus she was giving hints that, she actually wanted to leave. You know what I'm saying? So I'm thinking that she's going to die. She's actually going to die at that hospital.
Okay.
I believe she's going to die within these last 2 episodes. That's just what I'm feeling and what I'm getting because Carol, she even told Daryl that there was no place for her anymore. You know what I'm saying? She said she's a different person now, because she was like, remember when her husband used to beat her.
But what was that whole thing about? She kept talking to Daryl and saying, how are you now? Like, getting what he is now. Like, what were they talking about? I didn't understand that.
I guess basically she was saying that, from the time they met up to now, like they they totally different people now. You know what I'm saying? Because Karen was explaining that, when she was with her husband and their daughter, he used to beat her.
Uh-huh.
And
Okay.
so the place that they was resting at, that was actually the shelter for battered women. Because remember Daryl said, he was like, man, you been here before? And she was like, yeah, kind of. I think he asked her, did she used to work there?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, and it was actually, she told him, she was like, I took my daughter and we left and we stayed in the shelter for women for a day and a half, and then she said I wind up going back. So that shelter is the same place where she went. So she's like, after her husband died, you know what I'm saying, she changed, and then when her daughter died, she changed even more when they got to the prison. You know what I'm saying? So it was like, Carol actually, like, you could see her from the beginning how weak she was when her husband was around until her daughter died, and then when they got to the prison, like, she was badass now. You know what I'm saying? She was killing walkers. You know what I'm saying? She was using the guns. She was willing to operate. You know, to take the baby out of what's her name, out of Rick's wife and all that. So she stepped up big time. You know, she wanted to go out on missions and stuff. And when you go back and think about Daryl the same way, Daryl was young. You know what I'm saying? He was hot headed. You know what I'm saying? You couldn't tell him what to do. And it's like now, you know, he's that, you know, that guy to go to. You know, he got your back. He's looking for a leader. I think Daryl can be a leader if something happened to Rick, but he's Rick's right-hand man for right now. So I command.
Okay, well that makes sense. That makes sense. I was a little lost on some of that, but overall, let's be real. Last week's episode, this week's episode, besides Eugene finding out, you know, we found out Eugene was a bullshit artist. What do you think of these last two episodes that we've seen? Actually, let's say all last three, even the hospital. Were they really good episodes?
I didn't care too much the one with just the hospital with Beth. I wanted to know what Beth was, but I thought they was going to cut back, you know, into like Rick and what's his name, Eugene and all them, but they didn't. It was like basically it was kind of, I guess, kind of showing you how the hospital was and how it was ran, and you get the, you know, the idea of how they keep their people there and how they keep their people in line.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I got. That's what I got from that one, and I thought it was okay, but I wanted to see more. You know what I'm saying, with Beth, but the one with Eugene with them just on the road, that one was okay. I mean, could have been better. The only good part was when he came out and told them that he wasn't a scientist.
Yeah. It just seems like they're kind of dragging these episodes out. And I heard this is supposed to be the best season finale. Supposed to be the best season finale or mid-season finale out of all of them. That's what they said coming up.
Oh, okay.
Two. I've been hearing it a lot on forums and stuff. You know, but I could, you know, who knows? We never know till it takes place. I don't think much is going to beat a couple of them. I think one of the best ones was the prison. Like, I didn't like the whole season with the prison, but I loved that governor fight with the prison.
Oh yeah, that governor fight. Oh.
To be real, the hospital one wasn't that bad as these past two. I thought the past two just were like kind of like just episodes that were, you know, we needed answers from them. But they were just drug on, you know, just drug out. You know, I was like, come on. I was like, last night's episode, I was like, are you serious? That's it? You know. And she gets hit by a car at the end. And I was like, it almost looked like they intentionally hit her, which I think they did. And then, you know, you mean to tell me Daryl didn't do nothing? Like, Daryl didn't try to go save her? It didn't make any sense, you know. But from what I'm gathering, you know, they're going to go back to the group. We already learned by the previews that Noah's with the group now, and they're going to go attack the hospital. It's going to be an all-out war, and some people are going to die like usual. I wouldn't be surprised if more people die than just Carol.
I'll put it like this: I believe Carol is gonna die. And shit, maybe Eugene, since you know what I'm saying, they know now he ain't no damn scientist, so they ain't gonna be look. I know I wouldn't be looking out for his ass. It's like now it's like every man for themselves. Like if you can't defend yourself, oh well. Your dumb ass ain't no scientist, so what's the use of me, sticking my neck out further than what I would have, you know what I'm saying, to save you.
Mm-hmm.
And you lied about the whole thing because, you know what I'm saying, you a wimp, you scared, you know what I'm saying? Because the only reason why he came out and said anything is because what's the guy name with the mustache? Damn, I can't think of the guy name.
You're talking about the big dude?
Yeah, the guy that wants to get them to Washington.
Abraham?
Yeah, Abraham. And Abraham was, persistent to try to go through all those walkers. Like it was like a few thousand walkers that was just in this, I don't know, was it like a cattle or a slaughterhouse or whatever it was, type of farm? It was hundreds, thousands of them. And he was like, even Glenn was like, man, we can't go through that. Even if we had the bus, it'll slow us down because we're running over bodies. You know what I'm saying? And I think, like Eugene said, he's like, the closer we got, he was trying to sabotage everything because he knew that Abraham's mission was to get him there. And I think just by seeing all those walkers, and Abraham was like, I think we can do it, ain't no going back. That's what he had to tell. That's exactly why he had to say, like, look, I don't want to get anybody else killed. And he named like about 6, 7 people that died because of trying to get him and save him to get him to Washington because he's talking about he got a cure. So yeah, I wasn't mad when Abraham knocked his ass out. I would have knocked his ass out too. Yeah. If I was Glenn, I would have stumped his ass.
Mm-hmm. So we got like pretty much 2 more episodes of The Walking Dead to the mid-season finale.
Yeah.
Okay. What would you rate this episode?
I'll rate this episode 1 out of 10, 1 out of 5. I have to say this one is maybe like a 7.
Okay.
Because, why I say it was a 7, it basically was giving me the idea of what Carol and Daryl was doing. And I believe why Daryl didn't really want to go. Well, Daryl was going to help, but Nora grabbed him and told him no. He was like, if you go out there, you will have to kill them, and she won't get the help that she needs because that hospital does have medicine and everything, that she needs, to stay alive. And I think that's why he was kind of hesitant, like he wanted to go, but then again he didn't. And then you have to say to yourself, well, why would he believe this kid he just met that robbed him? But when I thought about that, I'm like, okay, Noah did say that he was from the hospital, and Daryl was like, that's where we trying to go. And he was like, have you seen a small girl with blonde hair? And when he said Beth, I think that's why Daryl kind of was hesitant to go out there and help Carol and kill those 2 guys. Just because of Noah, when he said, if you go out there, you have to kill them. Because he's like, it's more of them in the hospital. But they do have the supplies to help her, you know what I'm saying, so she won't die. So, okay, Daryl was like, okay, well, if she's going to the hospital where Beth is, at least we know that Beth is okay. This guy already met her. Now it's time for me to go back and regroup with the others so we can come get the both of them. And that's what you kind of seen in the previews coming up for this Sunday. You heard Rick saying, yeah, he was like, we're going to go in there. I think he said we're going to go in there quietly or they ain't going to know we're coming. So, yeah, Rick, he on that he on that shit again. Like Rick just don't care no more. Rick is trying to kill anybody that's trying to mess with them.
Okay. Yeah, I agree with everything you're saying, and I agree with the score that you gave it. I go with a 7 too. I think it's fair. I really I can't score it any higher than the 7. 7, I'm being generous too. I like Daryl. He's one of my favorite characters. That's why I'm probably giving him a 7. He did it was cool zombie kills. The cool part where they went off the bridge. But really, there's not much that went on this episode. It gave us some answers. Like we got to see how Carol got taken. We got to see how now we know who came with Daryl to the camp. It was Noah.
Yeah.
Like we predicted. But other than that, it wasn't really much. I hope these next 2 episodes are action packed because the last 3 were kind of really dull.
Well, I thought Carol and Daryl was actually gonna get a freak on when they was laying in their bed.
Well, that's another thing. Was it you that mentioned it to me, or somebody else that Daryl might be gay?
Nah, that wasn't me. It probably was somebody else.
All right, I've heard that the writers are almost there's a chance they could be writing part of the story that Daryl is gay, because Daryl don't have no chicks. He don't have no like the only thing that he's had that we got an idea he was going to probably maybe get it on with Beth, and now he with Carol in the bed. But that was, he seems real close to Carol. But I've heard there was that would kill Daryl's character if they had him out to be queer. But I hope they don't do that. That's a rumor around. A rumor, everybody. The rumor.
Right. Yeah, I don't think he's gay. But I mean, if he is, then he is. But I just thought maybe they had like a little connection because when he finally seen Carol after she left the prison and came back and saved them from the terminus, like the look on his face and he grabs her, they was just holding each other for a while. It wasn't like like a 6-second hug, like, oh my God, I thought something awful happened to you. I'm so happy to see you. And you let go. It was like, no, like, damn, girl, where you been? God damn. So, I don't know. And then when he was with Beth, you know what I'm saying? Beth was like holding his hand or whatever. And one scene, I think she walked up behind him and put her arms around him or some shit like that. And even Carol did it when they was in the van before it flipped over. He had his hand up on the dashboard and she reached for it and was holding his hand, and looked at him. So I'm like, okay.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, I don't know. I hope they don't do that to his character. But you never know.
Remember when they was, I think it was season 3, when they was at the farm. And they thought Daryl was, oh man, what happened with Daryl? It was something happened to Daryl, and they had finished fighting off some walkers and everything, and it was late night. Everybody was getting ready to settle in, and she looked at Daryl because Daryl didn't stay in the house. He always stayed outside of the farm in a tent. And she was like, hey, you want to do something? And he looked at it, he was like, stop. So, yeah, like she wanted to do something, and I think he wanted to do something, but I don't think Daryl was, like, actually ready.
Oh, you think he never had sex before or something? He's a virgin?
No. I don't know. Maybe he don't see Carol in that way. Because remember, at first, when her daughter went missing, he went out every day. He was the first one gone and the last one back to find that little girl.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, maybe he just, maybe he don't have that type of feeling towards her, but I mean, this apocalypse, you know what I'm saying? Like, shit, I do, Carol, fuck it.
Who cares?
You know what I'm saying? Like yeah, Glenn got the hottest girl out there, and you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
he got the hottest.
Searching for content. He's searching for content that story. Son of a Neller again. He's so happy.
Right, you know, Glenn got the hottest chick, you know what I'm saying? So, like,
She looks about like the only one that takes a fucking bath too on the show. I mean, it's funny though.
well, you know what? She's hot, so, you know, she got to look less dirty than the rest of them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Kind of like she's been through the mill.
yeah, I'm surprised she ain't pregnant yet because Glenn been hitting that shit all through season 1 through 5.
Right.
You can't tell me you found them many condoms laying around.
Yeah, I don't know, but yeah, that's our week's podcast. We changed it to this time, everybody. We'll be back next week on Monday. We'll be doing this Mondays, and appreciate all the viewers. Thank you as always, joining Old Dirty.
No problem, Dave. Always a pleasure.
All right, till next time.